Hello and welcome to session 4 of this Hearts of Wulin game, which I think I'm calling Deadly Harmony. It was the subtitle that I assigned after session 1, because I don't like assigning titles beforehand. I have to figure out where it comes from and then come up with ones that are entirely unimaginative. So we are taking up with our heroes, lots of changes and reversals. Last time, discoveries, arrows pointing in certain directions, commentaries by Lady Twilight Summer about how, oh, it'd be great if we could have actually a Wulin heroine who could help us here, who's of skill, which was great. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Just to remind you, we have X card as a safety tool. Of course, we have the open door if anyone needs to step away. And then we have lines and veils. And as a reminder, our lines are sexual assault and torture, and our veils are on graphic gore, harm to animals, and sexual content. So last time, in general, the group followed up in different directions on the question of who had killed the people of the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau on the one hand, and who had attacked the household of Lady Twilight and your parent, Jim, and who then also attacked Empty Falcon. Following that, you were on site for the attack on Empty Falcon. Master Zhang spoke with Empty Falcon and discovered that there is a manual of swordplay from a person named Eyeless Waterfall from some time ago. This is quite a long time ago. He presented himself as a hero, but turned out to be a villain. He was killed, and his students split the manual of swordplay into several parts. And this seems to be what these killings are about. This seems to be what is going on here. Certainly, the book at the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau was taken, as was another part of the 5 from the Meteor Grace clan. But we'll come back to that in a bit. Master Zhang questioned the prisoner, who was part of this Unbroken Brethren group, and was eventually able to get pointed towards of sort of a leader up the chain named Unending Veil. And that was sort of the chain there. Lady Twilight Summer managed to escape from that conflict with this magistrate who seemed to know her style, and followed that up by tracking down members of the Serene Mother Midnight, trying to ascertain why they were there, what their presence was. Ended up speaking with a woman named the Red Marsh Daughter, and who was the assassin who escaped from the grounds. Maybe not an assassin. She claims to have simply been an observer. And she pointed at some other things that I'll let Lady Twilight Summer fill in as she wishes. Meanwhile, our musician fellow, who had lost that fight with the assassin who had taken his bell, followed up on a few things, had an encounter with his brother, and there was some things with that, made a promise to meet his brother later on. That promise has not yet been fulfilled. But he eventually tracked down Red Marsh Daughter, after getting some hints from Lady Twilight Summer about where to go. Tracked down Red Marsh Daughter to get his bell back. He was remarkably unsuccessful in this. Let us say Snake Eyes right at the end. And she escaped once again, but said to him that she was not the killer. Said that there had been a woman with, and I can't remember if this came from the earlier conversation or the later conversation, but one of the things that Red Marsh daughter indicated, there had been a woman who was there along with the attack, who killed your mother, and who your mother seemed to know. So that is the thing that is there. You're as of yet, from the other part of the group, your father has not yet been seen. And at the end, the three met up. Lady Twilight Summer has taken full command of the household, and set the household to mourning and done all of the proper things that you will be pleased and relieved to find out when you return, that she has undertaken this great burden. The servants are perhaps a little scared now, but that aside, she has done a very good job. The Master Zheng arrived on stage, as well as Yingling, and they decided that probably the next step that they would pursue would be to track down and confront this unending veil person. So Stephen, Kat, are there any things big details that I left out there, things that struck you that like, oh, this is another important bit?
No.
Okay. So I do think those are the basics. What I want to do before we kind of come to you, Jim, is I want to check in with everybody about their entanglements right now. You made some changes last time, Stephen. Let's look at those. We added in the Thundernail daughter, who is the spitting image of your late wife, and who appears to be a noble official who has come very quickly to the city to take up the investigation of these killings, and who did not react particularly well to Master Zheng, seemed to be suspicious of him. So there was some question about that. And then we still have the thing about following Bat and your son Pei. Are you happy with those? I know we talked about changing the second one. Are you happy with the change you made to the first one?
Yeah, I'm happy with the change I made to the first one, and I'm happy with the second one. I would like to get Pei on stage.
Okay, we will definitely do that today. And Kat, we have your two entanglements. We didn't have a chance to bring your long lost brother back on stage last time, but we did get some interactions with Yingling, though Miss Feng was attempting to play blocker and not succeeding particularly well. Are you happy with those? Any changes you want to make to either of those?
I think they're okay for now. Let's see what we can do.
Absolutely. And then Jim, what are your two entanglements?
So my first one is I humiliated myself in front of Ms. Fang, who I desire, and Yingling Jun will let no one forget it. And we had some fun with that in our first couple of sessions with him razzing me and me being like, just sort of an earnest teenage goofball around Ms. Fang. And I've been enjoying that, and I'm certainly happy to have that continue.
Okay. And the other one?
I have discovered my sibling, Lady Twilight Summer, has been in contact with Sad Steel Butcher from the Serene Mother Midnight clan.
And you confronted her about that last time, yeah. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that following back came away satisfied from that conversation?
Oh, I think he came away like I think we kind of, so my recollection, and this is like 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
My recollection is that following back came away from it like still worried that she might be in danger. It's like one of those things where I was like satisfied with her explanation, but still worried about her. Right.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, if when your sister's hanging out with, shady elements, she tells you not to worry. What's the first thing you do? You worry more. So I feel like I'm perfectly happy with where that is at as well.
Sure.
Kat, is that your kind of recollection of where we sort of left that?
I think so, but I'm kind of fuzzy about things that happen before the holidays at this point.
Yeah.
I do think it was that at the time she very much convinced you that she had some reasons and you were willing to accept that, but I think you do have some doubts. Those are going to be gnawing at you about that.
Well, and certainly what happened at the end of last session, now that completely changes the valence of all of that worry that I might have had.
Right.
So yeah.
So here is what we know about the span of things. There was the battle at Empty Falcon's house. Master Zhang and you defeated the assailants. You knew that your father was still missing. And you departed from Master Zhang at that point, did not go home. And throughout that day, you were doing something else. And we'll bring you back on stage in the evening of that day. To tell me, what did you think? What is it you were doing? And we can custom move this as you need to. What do you think?
I think that absolutely I would have gone to Yuman, old man Yuman, to for advice, for guidance, for what do I do? You have to help me find these people and find who did this and get my revenge and stuff like this. And I imagine a scene where he's like, oh crap, I really don't want anything to do with this kid, but and some back and forth with that, some kind of reluctant mentor pleading, student thing.
And he does. He says, "Listen, I am here in a simple Fletcher bowmaker. I am not part of that world, and there are reasons why I'm not part of that world. I do not want to get drawn back into that. You need to go back to your family, and you need to give up these things and become head of your house. That's what you need to do. And you need to find yourself a plump, pretty bride, or at least wealthy, and settle down. That is what you need to do.
Head of my household, but my father is missing. He's still alive somewhere out there. I know it, and I must find him before it's too late.
And why are you here talking to me?
Because
you could be looking for him.
Because I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. You've taught me. I know that you've said yourself that you used to be part of this world. You used to be a warrior.
Yes.
If you teach me what to do, then you needn't intervene at all yourself. You'll have taught me, and I can go out into the world and
Well, this sounds like the proud youth.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm absolutely asking for advice. Yeah.
What do you want to roll that with?
This is wood. This is growth and curiosity. This is teach me what to do to, teach me this thing I don't know, to try and give me the tools I need to go forward. So let's see what we got.
Let's have you roll.
That was a 5 plus 2 gets me to 7.
Get you to a 7. So you will get +1 on going for the problem. This is the one where we noted that we probably want to get a 10+ because this was a revised move.
Yep.
He says, you must, if your father is still alive, he is either taken or he is gone to ground. Right?
Why would he be hiding?
Why would assassins come and attack your household? This is a world turned upside down. I do not think you can ask questions of the way of things. You must merely accept that it is strange.
Yes, and he's not a warrior. He's just a magistrate. I don't understand any of this.
And he leans back and he goes, I think your father may be more a warrior than you think.
And like, I think that honestly, just like, frown, kind of frustrated sigh, and I don't understand any of this. It's all too much.
Listen, if you want to find things out, you must find someone who lives in the gutters, who knows the streets, and ask them. Find them, make a friend, find it that way. But I would also ask you this. Where is your father's assistant, Magistrate Bao?
I don't know. I assume he's with him. He never
Oh,
leaves.
his father's assistant, Ming.
I don't know. He was not in the house. I assume he must be with my father. He never leaves his side.
Well, then you are not looking for one man. You are looking for two. Two men are much harder to hide than one.
Yes. And
think about their habits. Think about what you know of them and use that to your advantage.
I will. Thank you, master.
Do not. I am an arrow maker.
And I shall endeavor to be your finest arrow.
Go. So, should we resolve that? Maybe do you want to do a study move here?
Yeah, sure.
Make a declaration, ask questions, and then we can bring the group back together after we get the results of that. Does that seem fair?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, totally. And I think this is what, again, like I said, curiosity, sure. Finding stuff out, patience, curiosity. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's a 3. I'm going to go ahead and mark XP.
A 3. So, Jim,
yes.
For simplicity's sake, that's going on the shelf. That's going on the hard move shelf right
Sure.
over here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exhausted, tired, fruitless searching, frustrated. It's probably at that moment that you realize just how late it is, and you have not spoken to your sister, to the others, and you've done nothing to help the household, and you rush back. And Lady Twilight, you will hear as you and Master Zhang are speaking, you'll hear a great commotion from a noise, a clamor from out in the entry hall. And you will see the servants come kind of with great noise and fanfare pushing following Bat into the room. They're hugely relieved to see the young master is alive. And they will bring him into you.
I bow as befits the proper duty towards the head of the house.
And like, I'm exhausted, and I have the little streak of soot here, and a little one, another like a little grease over my eye and stuff like that. My hair is kind of a mess and all this kind of stuff. And like, I just look just wiped out, like I certainly haven't slept in the entire time, and I've been going around the city getting no answers for anything. And I say, And I go and like I walk over to you, and I just like stamp my foot, and I say, "Stop that! Father is still alive."
But he's not here.
But he is out there somewhere. If he were just away on an errand, you would not bow to me like this.
Youngling, you'll excuse me for one moment. Yes. I must speak of family matters. So I kick Youngling out.
And Zheng? Zheng?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even think about that. She's a servant.
Master Zheng, do you also leave?
Yes, but I stay close enough to the other side of the door that I can hear what's going on.
Why, you old trickster, you. Where have you been? I have had to place the entire house into mourning, as is my duty, but I have also had to take on many other responsibilities while I deeply mourn my last living relative.
You hold the funeral for Father before we have even found his body. Why are you so concerned with household matters? We should be trying to find the people who did this.
I do not hold a funeral for your father. I hold a funeral for my aunt.
And there will be time to mourn Mother, but we must find who did this, and we must prove to them that they cannot. And I just fall down to my knees.
How lovely it must be to be a boy.
You wouldn't know anything about it.
And you do not know anything about being a man. Stand up.
Following Bat.
Yeah.
Could I please have you make an inner conflict?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Why? Is there anything I could do to make it worse? Because I'm here for it.
It's completely legit.
I think this is outside the realm of the advice, so I think the +1 ongoing is going.
Oh yeah, for sure. So this is metal. This is control, which I'm losing right now. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, there's my snake, guys. That's cool. Fantastic. All right, so I'll go ahead and mark XP for that. Which
I think
rolling it. Yeah.
as you are crying, you look up and you will realize that Yingling and Feng have not left yet. And she's watching, and there's this look on her face that is like of, is he all right kind of look.
Oh yeah.
And they will head off. Go ahead and mark that element.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you can tell that has not gone wide. And also there's probably a moment when you saw Yingling, putting his hands to his mouth to keep from laughing at you.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Zheng, let me talk to you for just a second while you're overhearing this with Lady Twilight and following Bat, and then I want to come back to Lady Twilight. What is it? What is your thought on this? Do you want to move to investigate other things? Do you want to stay here? What is it you're feeling at this point?
I'm feeling it's time to investigate Unending Veil, and maybe this is what Chunji needs. He needs to be doing something. So I am going to suggest that we go there as soon as I can, and sort of try to put Chunji in like a position of leadership, even if he's not actually leading. Have him feel like he's leading.
Okay, so we probably need to resolve the Lady Twilight following Bat interaction, and then maybe we can see if you want to hearts and minds the move. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
A good way to structure that. So, Lady Twilight, your brother, cousin, has this breakdown. What do you do?
My character's as deliberate as that. Stand up.
And I think the seeing them leaving like that kind of like is a bit of a like bucket of cold water, right? So I sniffle, and I stand.
Some of the surviving servants have prepared your morning clothes for you. Expect you to be in them. What have you learned about your father's disappearance?
That no one in the city seems to know where he is. They do not know if he has been taken. His body has not been found. I received some advice that I should look not just for father, but for his advisor as well. That it is harder for two to conceal themselves than just one.
That is good advice. You should know something about your father. I only learned it myself today. Apparently, your father was a gifted artist in his own right.
So, sorry, just to step out for a second. Should I assume that you mean like a
Yeah.
a wuxia practitioner? Got it. Okay,
Yep.
cool. All right.
Master of an obscure style in a book that may not be read by others.
I kind of take that in, and my eyes widen, not in I'm shocked, but in, oh my God, this confirms like something that someone else told me.
Moreover, those who attack the house likely were looking for the book but did not find it here. I have heard a story told to me today that when the house was attacked, father was not here for the entire fight.
Well, if they sought to steal something from him and they believed him to be a powerful warrior, they would seek to take it when he was not here.
Indeed. Of course. And she stares at you with a 1,000 li stare. That left my mother and the servants to defend themselves as they could. What do you plan to do about it, my dear boy? What were you planning to do following Bat? Were you going to run off and slay 1,000?
You have me, big sister.
Suppose I were to tell you that I am not so unfamiliar with the seamier sides of our city.
I know that you are friends with a member of the Serene Mother Midnight Clan. I have not. It is, and I kind of like hold my head down, like a little like I don't want to meet your gaze, like, because I don't want to like embarrass you. um, uh, what you do when you're out and about, when you are about in the city. You have not inquired into what I do, so I have not inquired into what you do.
Should I not look after my own welfare? Now that my aunt is dead, and your father yet lives, if your father comes back, he will perhaps remarry, at which point, what shall be my relation to all of you? I shall be lucky if he remembers me in some small manner.
You will always be my sister.
That's all well and good when it comes to sentiment, Shun, but when it comes to inheritance, it is a rather empty pocket. One is not friends with anybody in the Syrian Mother Midnight faction. One merely utilizes them. However, it is true, some of them are known to me. There is one who could help you, perhaps.
Well then, if I truly am the master of this house, tell them that I will pay them whatever they ask to help us.
Whatever they ask could be a very powerful price.
If it is within my means to pay it, I will. If it will help us take revenge for mother and find father.
I shall let her know.
I think it's a good point to bring Master Zhang in. Does that seem fair, Stephen?
Sure.
What do you want to propose to them?
I want to propose that we investigate Unending Veil. That he is too much for me alone, but with Chunji's assistance, perhaps we can confront him or at least some of his minions and get some information.
Well then, I will leave it to you. Chungi, wait at the fountain by the east gate when the moon is risen, and you will meet your friend there. Now you must excuse me, gentlemen. I've had a very long and trying day, and I have as of yet not properly wept over my aunt's death. You will forgive me if I retire. And clearly I just play a couple keys on the piano and slide down into the back cave.
Absolutely. So I think let's give a chance for Zhang and following Bat to have a scene, and Yingling now, and we'll do a scene pulling over to that fountain, and then we'll bring Lady Twilight on stage. Rich, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm late, guys.
That's okay. Following Bat has returned. You were ushered out of the room when Following Bat went to speak to his sister, and then he broke down in tears, and you and Miss Feng saw that, and Miss Feng said, "Is he okay?" And you tried to stifle a laugh, and then walked away there and walked off. Lady Twilight and Following Bat had a conversation, and then after that, Master Zhang gathered up Following Bat and comes to you and essentially says, "We are going to go and investigate this villain, Unending Veil, and we're supposed to meet some ally at this fountain." Master Zhang, you said you wanted to converse with Following Bat as you made this move here. What is it you're trying to do here for him?
I think I am trying to raise his spirits and give him confidence. So I think this is probably actually comfort and support.
Okay. What is your tactic to help him work through this trauma?
Right. I'm telling him that I need him, and sort of subtly letting him know that I trust him to take action. It's like I went to this tavern where he was before, and I could tell that he was too dangerous a foe to trust to confront alone. But now that Chunji is here, I'm confident that together we can prevail. And I'm sort of subtly praising his skill at martial arts.
It's not
Yeah,
even all that
let's-
subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have you. What do you want to roll that with, Master Zhang?
I'll roll with water. It seems like a wisdom thing.
That seems fair. It is your style element, but that's fair.
And that's a 9.
That is a 9. So on that with the comfort and support, they can clear a checked element.
Did you want
Or
to
they-
spend your bond? You have a bond with me.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, yeah, I'll spend a bond, and that way I can clear an element myself.
Okay. And you're going to clear an element then following that?
Yeah, yep, I cleared metal. Control, calculation, reflection. That gave me back my I'm not scared anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I think this is like his praise of my martial skill comes between several layers of my apologizing to him for my behavior and, you know, assuring him that that he can count on me and stuff like this. And by the time it's all over, yeah, I'm absolutely like I'm standing straighter and I've got my, you know, and I'm checking the fletchings on my arrows and have my bow ready to go.
Yeah, and like I've wiped his face with a damp cloth, and he brushed back his hair, so he's looking a little tidier.
And Yingling, what is your take on all of this? You had a defeat earlier.
Indeed, I did. Lost my bell and tried to recover it. Failed. But still, this is pretty unseemly. And he is just a child. I mean, what is he, 12? So it's fine for children to cry. So I give Miss Fing a little look like, yeah, you gotta let the children do their thing. But we try to respectfully let him be drawn away by the master.
Okay.
Thankful that I didn't have to deal with it, really.
All right, then we'll have the three of you arrive at this fountain. Beautiful fountain here, just off the market square, maybe a little bit away from eyesight. It is getting dark. The lanterns are being lit. There are a few people out for the late night revelries and so on, but more of the town watch out because of the chaos that has occurred. Tell me, Red Cloud Sword, how do you make your entrance?
Tumbling out of the sky into a 3-point hero landing.
What do they see?
Just a flash of red, and then I'm there. Sword already drawn. Get up and then bow to Chungi.
You are the one that my sister called for, I say.
I am the Red Cloud Sword.
Red Cloud Sword. My sister has told me that one does not seek friendship from the Serene Mother Midnight Clan, but that one can find common purpose. If you've spoken with my sister, then you know that as the head of my household, I shall pay what you ask. If you succeed in helping me find my mother's killer and finding my father.
Very well.
I
Okay.
want to study her,
Okay.
like kind of,
Let's-
you know, like she's here, all like this and everything. And as I'm talking this, I'm looking for any kind of clue as to.
Go right ahead. I got
Oh,
a +1 on hearts and mind, and this is treated as a duel, isn't it?
If you want to uncover her identity, this is a PC versus PC duel. If you're just trying to like get some info,
no way. I want
Okay.
that I want that to drop like a bomb when it does.
Sure,
So-
absolutely. What do you
Yeah.
want to roll that with?
Save that for when it's heavy duty. What curiosity? I want to
Okay.
know what's
Yeah,
going on.
let's burn that out.
What am I getting into here? All right, so I'm gonna. That's a 12 on the dice. So
So you have 2 hold.
I have 2 hold. Yeah. So let's see here.
Let me let you think about that for a second. Yingling, Miss Feng tugs on your sleeve.
What is it?
That's the Red Cloud sword.
It is.
That's the Red Cloud sword.
Yes, I know.
She's amazing. She's legendary.
It's true. It's true. We should speak with
I have a
her.
wanted poster of her.
She's so famous. She's infamous.
Exactly. I mean, she's dangerous, so be careful. But
Of course.
you know, if you got killed by her, that'd be really cool. Though.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, well, I just say. Okay. And she gets real quiet. Following back,
Yeah. So I want to know her scale.
she is on your scale.
That's interesting.
You know, that is the thing. All PCs are on each other's scale of that competency and power.
And so ask a question about a person. Well, actually, sorry, hidden threats. Is it really just her? Is she really alone?
Lady Twilight, I'll let you answer that.
As far as I know, I'm alone. I didn't ask any of the other losers who clearly colluded in the murder of my aunt.
Yes, so definitely she has come here alone.
Okay.
So the 4 of you will gather up. What's your take on this, Master Zhang? Muted.
I have a question for Red Cloud Sword. Do I recognize your voice?
It is assumed not.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm probably slightly puzzled. There's something. I have a feeling that there's something I'm not picking up on, but I'm not going to worry about it right now.
Yeah, that seems a fair compromise. I see what you're doing there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody could, it would be you.
Right.
So, Master Zhang, you want to lead the group to the place where you spotted this villain before?
Yes.
And you, the 4 of you, plus Miss Feng, the 5 of you will head to a seedier part of town. And there is you're guessing it's a warehouse of some kind, like a merchant's storehouse with paper and silk inside. There's a little bit of light coming from the windows that are shuttered. And there's clearly some whispered conversation going on in there. How do you want to proceed?
I think I'm going to try to overhear the conversation because I've
Okay.
got pretty sharp senses.
then let's have you roll study.
Yeah, and I'll roll with Earth. So I'm being cautious. Oh, that was a 4.
That is a 4. Tell me, when you go to do this, Master Zhang, when you approach, kind of gesture, you move up, what is it that gives you away? Is it just an accident, or is there some sort of alarm set, or is there a guard? What do you think it is?
There is a guard, and that guard is quieter than I thought anybody could possibly be. Clearly, he is very, very talented. This is not just a regular guard. This is somebody who has had training.
And that's the thing. We talked about the Unbroken Brethren, their former monks. Is a figure who was seated perfectly still, holding their breath, perfectly still there in the shadows. And he sees you approach, and he sees the rest of the group coming, and he is up out of the shadows, and he says, "Brethren, we are watched." What do you do, Yingling?
There were several guards, and this guy kind of popped out.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So imagine that Zhang has walked up to kind of case the place.
Right.
There's shadows around. And as he moved up, this figure came out of the shadows and shouted to the people inside that there are people here. Clearly.
Got it. So we've been had. Okay,
Yes.
that's where I was. All right.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's not awesome. I gesture for Miss Fang to get behind me, as well as following Bat. With my children. Is Red Cloud here with us still?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Apparently,
kinda
following Bat has hired this infamous character to assist you.
I'm curious how she's going to react, so
Okay.
I'll just see that.
Red Cloud Sword, what do you do?
Well, looks like Stealth and Subtlety's out, huh? Do I see people filling in, or are they just sort of?
You've seen this one guard, and you certainly hear noise from inside. Clearly, they've been alerted to your presence.
Obviously, we need to take down the guard first, so I'm going to take him down.
All right. So you will move up on this guard, and so you'll see Red Cloud Sword moves up to engage the guard. I want to get where everybody else is before we resolve that. Following Bat, what do you do? Muted.
So there's like a warehouse, and they've like called inside the warehouse.
He has shouted to the people inside the warehouse to alert them to your coming.
Got it. So
they only know that there are people out here. That's what they know. That's the extent of their knowledge.
Okay, so like, because it's a warehouse, there's like some whatever crates, or like, maybe like carts full of vegetables or something like that are kind of arrayed around. So Yingling has kind of pushed me back, and I sort of do one of these like shrug his hand off of my shoulder, and like kind of kip up like 1 foot on a wheel, 1 foot on top of a cart, and just like pull like 4 arrows out of my out of a quiver, and they all come in the bow, and I turn it sideways and kind of point it down, and I want to shoot those arrows like through the door, like wedge them in the base of the door, so that they're like out of the warehouse to come swarm after us.
So you're gonna block the door. Master Zhang, what are you doing when Red Cloud Sword moves to engage this significant foe? Following Bat goes to keep them coming out the main door. What do you want to do?
I think there's a window that on an upper floor, and I'm going to scale the wall and try to go in the window.
Okay. So you're moving inside, Yingling. Having seen that, what do you want to do?
I'm going to move up to assist Red Cloud because she is taking on the most interesting foe.
Okay. So you move up to support. Let's kind of go, let's do the door, the duel, and Master Zhang. So let's have you roll overcome. I think
Yeah,
that's a good way to say how long it takes, or if anybody gets out.
You bet, totally. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this with I'm going to go ahead and risk my style element here, because this is all about
Please
style,
do.
this thing that I'm doing here. So let's see what we got. That is a 4, but I used my XP to raise my style element up to +3. So that gets me a 7. So I've got
That gets you a 7.
7 and 9 on my overcome.
So I think that you will do it, and you will delay them, but it is just a delay. Does that seem fair?
Oh yeah, totally. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay.
Long enough to give my friends an edge in that fight against that monk. I'm cool on that. That's what I was looking for.
Red Cloud Sword. This figure is stood, and you can see that they've turned their hands, and it looks like they have a staff, but they're actually holding like a staff that's broken. They're holding it like two long sticks. You can see that the staff is actually made of stone, and they move gracefully in that pattern like you would expect against a staff wielder, but because the things are moving just off from one another, it makes it harder to follow. Tell me how you approach this foe. What does the first exchange look like?
Well, my style element is fire, so I think I come in fast and do a couple things where I'm bouncing off the walls, getting him to swing at me until I can get either behind him or on an angle and go in for the strike.
Okay. And what is it you do to keep out of the way, of the heaviness of these stone sticks?
It's all acrobatics.
All acrobatics. Okay.
Yeah, it's all airwalking and fun. The wire crew's getting to work out today.
Perfect. Then this foe is actually on your scale.
Excellent.
So let us have you roll.
That's an 11.
That is 11. So on a 10
It's
plus,
due to my help, my non-mechanical help. Yeah.
Fair enough. On a 10 plus, you win the conflict, and you can mark XP if you show them mercy or let them escape.
He's worthy but not named, huh?
He has a name.
Does he?
So yeah. Do you want to use one of your abilities there?
Yeah, well, I do have Monkey Fist Floating Snake, and we've never had a chance to work on it.
So this figure, his name is Iron Voice Jan. He is one of the masters here of the Unbroken Brethren. You can tell his style is developed enough. How is it that you humiliate him?
I get him to. There's a point where he swings those staves around and like hits the ground, and I literally ladder up one, jump on the other one, smack him on the head, and then flip off.
And he comes back. He shakes himself too, and he realizes that like you've forced him back into mud, and he still kind of reeling from that. So you may mark a bond with Iron Voice Jan. And he is staggered, unable to bring himself back to bear. And you see that she's quite good, Yingling.
Impressive. Most impressive. Not you. Her.
Master Zhang, you will Lightfoot up the wall up to that window and look inside, you will see a group of troops that are at the door working to bust out of here. And you will see that there is an unending veil, and there he clearly has a second lieutenant, much like Iron Voice, who is there. You'll see that this figure has those kind of iron rings around their wrists that run up and down there. And he moves up to the door and he just brings those fists into that door and shatters it outward. What do you want to do, Master Zhang? They haven't seen you.
I'm going to jump down lightly and try to strike down the iron ring guy before he can notice me.
All right. He is on your scale. So you will drop down. There are troops that are starting to swarm outside. We can see that Unending Veil is getting himself prepared. So what is your tactic against this kind of foe, this kind of brute force, strong arm swinging foe? What does that look like?
I'm trying to take him by surprise, and land lightly on my feet and just smack him with my staff hard enough to stagger him, and then follow up with some martial arts strikes.
And when he's resilient, when you can feel that strength of him, how is it that after you've knocked him forward, when he swings his arm back and starts moving to smack at you, how are you evading that?
Basically, I'm evading it. He's massive. He's heavy. I can't block him, but I can dodge him. He's not as fast as I am.
Okay, then let us have you go ahead and roll duel on a foe of your scale.
And those rings, and I kind of love the idea that Master Zheng can hear those rings moving around the way the rest of us probably can't. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is actually easier than fighting. Yeah. So that's a 5 + 2 is a 7.
Okay. So on a mixed result, you can win at a cost, narrate your loss and mark XP, or deadlock and reveal a detail or ask a question.
I think I'll win at a cost.
Okay. And what is that cost? Do they escape? Do you mark another element? Do the others see you, ambush this guy? What do you think?
I'll mark an element.
Okay. What is it you're going to mark?
Let's mark metal.
Okay. So you're and how is it? What is it that taxes you in this exchange?
I mean, I think he gets in some solid blows with those metal clad rings, and I mean, I'm lucky that I got in a strike by surprise, because otherwise, I don't think I could have downed him. But he's staggered enough that I'm able to get in some very good blows, and I just drop him before he's able to wear me down.
Sure. Let's do Yingling, and then following that, Yingling, the Red Cloud Sword is taking down and finishing off this foe. Troops start coming out of the doors. Master Zhang has gone in by himself. You hear the sounds of the fighting, the smashing that's going on there. What do you want to do? You've got a bunch of troops, but there are named foes clearly inside.
And Master Zhang has gone in by himself. Red Cloud has all of her stuff well in hand. I must go follow my friend Master Zhang.
Then you can hop through that window. You can see and kind of drop down. There are a group of troops that will move to engage you when you come in here. And this more serious looking figure behind them clearly, gestures for them to deal with this upstart. Tell me,
Look, who's like an upstart, or who's the upstart?
you fought one-on-one. We've seen you do that, the individual duels several times.
Mhm.
What does it look like when you actually deal with a group of foes?
I think with a group of foes, his fighting style opens up a great deal. He grabs the largest of the bells and the smallest, and so he's able to alternate the speed and the tone of ringing. And there's a lot of strikes for the head and especially the ears, of course, because hitting somebody with a bell in the ears is pretty
Absolutely. So let's have you roll deal with troops.
Okay, I will deal with troops. The Yi and Ki, his named bells that he still has because he's lost the one. All right, named troops. So this is not a deal with troops. There we are, fighting with my style element, which is of course a +2. So that's water. And here we got Snake Eyes sitting there. I don't know if I should trust these dice that I'm
You
looking
probably
at.
shouldn't.
I'm getting rid of them. All right, 2 new ones coming.
Fair enough.
Where did they go? There they are. We're down at the bottom. 9.
So then on a hit, you defeat them. You would have looked awesome on a 10+, but you
I
look
know.
pretty good.
There's no way I can push it to it.
Oh, you can burn a bond. Do you have a bond to burn?
You have a bond with Lady Twilight Summer, who you're trying to impress.
Oh, I am trying to impress her. Well, I mean, but she's not here though. So
Word will certainly get
That's
back to her,
fair.
right?
I want word to get back to her. I'm burning that bond to get this to a 10. I want it
So-
to look magnanimous.
What is it? I mean, we see these foes come at you. They've got these broken staves. They use that, and they also use a lot of clearly work their legs and stiffen those to make them, low kick strikes there with that. How do you send them packing?
Well, first of all, the sound designer mixed in tubular bells somehow, and all this fight is choreographed to it. And he sends them. It's of course it's Wulin, so it's a perfectly choreographed dance to tubular bells. He moves around adroitly. There's a couple times when he kind of jingles the smallest bell in front of one person who blinks a few times, and then he thwacks him in the side of the head. So there's a mixture of a great deal of skill and a lot of playfulness as he takes down everyone except for the person who was ordering them around.
Perfect. Following that, the door shatters, and these troops come out and rush you. You've contained them, kept them from fleeing, and they have to deal with you. So tell me what it looks like when you deal with troops. What is your archer style with that?
So like I guess the first, like at a glance, do they look like this is not like a bunch of assassins? These are just like warehouse guards, right? As far as we can tell, or what is, or are they the same crew that?
This is the Unbroken Brethren, the same
Got
crew
it,
that you
okay.
fought at Empty Falcon place.
Got it. Okay. So like, I'm up there on that cart, and so like one of them probably, like the one who's out front kind of leaps, light steps towards me, and so like the first guy is just going to get an arrow in his chest, and like I as he's going down, I step up onto his shoulder and use that vantage point to like take out a couple more as he's falling and kind of do that. So I'm like moving through the crowd, like jumping on their shoulders and heads as I'm shooting down at the others, just kind of working my way through them.
Perfect. Let's have you roll deal
All
with
right,
troops.
so style element here. So that is a 7 plus 3 gets me to a 10.
So what is the thing that makes this moment most awesome?
Oh, I think like the fact that like whatever dozen of them that I have to deal with, like the arrow goes into the last one, like as the first one just whump hits the ground. Like they all have arrows in them before the first one has even like fallen all the way over.
Red Cloud Sword, did you know that your brother was this skilled? Or is this a surprise, or is this just confirm what you knew?
I didn't realize he had the focus to be this good.
This figure has fallen, humiliated. Iron Voice. The troops are being cleared off, but there's a significant foe inside. What do you do, Red Cloud?
Well, if there's a significant foe inside, clearly I need to go inside and see what's going on in there.
All right. You will move in. You will see this figure in black. There's silver edging to his outfit. He has a full, wide saber, and he is moving to go outside to position himself. Do you want to wait for backup, or do you want to engage him?
I want to stick to the shadows and study him if I can.
Why don't you roll study? What do you want to roll that with?
That's an excellent question. I feel that I was cautious there, so might as well be Earth.
Okay.
My guess is he is above my scale. That is a 7.
You have one hold.
So I could confirm that, or I wanna ask a question. If there's any other threats in the region.
If you're asking, I think that your allies have dispatched the threats. It is just this one who remains. It doesn't look like. It looks like whatever other foes there might be, they are occupied elsewhere.
Okay. Yep.
Cool. So let me check in and see how others position themselves. As they don't see you anymore. You vanish into the shadows, Red Cloud, of which there are plenty here. The lanterns are swinging about. Master Zhang, what are you doing?
I think I'm sort of circling an unending veil. I'm not ready to confront him by myself, but I'm going to try to block him from getting to any exits.
Okay. Let me have you roll overcome.
Okay, I'll roll with, I guess I'm being patient, so I'll roll with wood.
Okay.
That's a 10.
That is a 10. How is it that, beyond just your skill, how are you using the environment to keep him from moving out and getting some room here?
Well, I think there's just the front entrance and one back entrance and like these windows. So, I think I'm moving I just move very, very rapidly. It's like jump onto a table, and I bounce onto the wall, and I run along the wall, and I pop up in front of the back door, so he can get through to the back door, but only by going through me.
And he clearly wants to get a little more room. I mean, he could take you, but he clearly has a purpose here. Yingling, you're also in that area. You see Red Cloud Sword vanishes. Master Zhang is essentially moving at high speed around, keeping this person penned into the warehouse. What are you doing?
I think I'm going to close in to assist Master Zhang. We'll stand shoulder to shoulder and face down this foe.
Okay. So you and Master Zhang are working essentially right now to lower this guy's scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're doing to give the group an opening or limit him? What is it that Yingling does to do that?
Yingling is going to be overly brash and a little condescending in an attempt to throw him off. So he says, now, not only are you outnumbered, now you're outclassed.
And there is that slight edge of irritation. His eyebrow goes up. He's clearly, his comment about upstarts now is ringing true, because neither of you are worthy foes for him, and yet you are stymieing his intent. Following Bat, what are you doing?
I see all this. They've gone running inside. Like a block away, I just see like a maybe even a couple of blocks away, just a city guardsman just walking by. And I like reach to the all the way to the far right hand side of my quiver, and I flip out this arrow with like a head that has like little flute holes in it.
Right.
And
a hummingbird
just
arrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that makes noise, right?
Yeah.
And I like aim it to like pass right in front of his face, and shoot that, and follow it with another arrow that's got a flare on it that I just shoot straight up into the air.
Okay.
So I'm calling the cops is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I don't think that requires a roll. I think that's pretty clearly, we hear that as it shouts into, we get that shocked look, and he, camera follows him as he looks down and sees this going on, and then the flare goes up, and elsewhere.
Like if there happens to be a magistrate nearby who can come running.
Yeah, we will see on screen probably Jia, the magistrate, as well as Thundernail daughter, magistrate. We don't know how close they are, but we know that they have seen this and have been called. Red Cloud Sword. You see Master Zhang and Yingling are working to try and draw off this villain's defenses. You're not sure whether enough has been done yet or not. What do you want to do?
Obviously, the only answer in a situation like this is to have a really cool confrontational talk with him.
Okay.
So I think from the shadows, it just the rumbling, high-pitched voice kind of says, her name was Xunhua, and she died. Speak to me of her.
He says, I understand. The Red Cloud Sword, right?
You are fortunate enough to be in my presence, even if you may not be able to see where I am, because I'm doing the whole jumping around, throwing my voice stuff.
And he's moving, and Yingling and Zhang are intercepting the space. He doesn't, it's like a stare down with a cat. The cat doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to he could probably get through them, but he doesn't want to because he doesn't know exactly where you are. He hasn't made a judgment on that. These two are presenting enough of a threat, and he says, so the Serene Mother Midnight sent you. You're their instrument of betrayal in this.
Let us say that my interest in this is nothing to do with the filial bonds I owe to that mother.
Then why are you here?
Her name was Xunhua. She was alone and she died. Speak to me of her.
Oh, you think I killed her, do you?
The Red Marsh daughter says she didn't kill her.
There's another puppeteer at the heart of this.
Let us talk about strings, brother.
I am no brother of yours. I think we're going to have to keep him going. I think this is a point at which, if you want to try and keep that banter going, I think you're going to have to hearts and minds him for this.
Oh yeah, that definitely would seem to be a man metal. Well, no, actually, presence seems to work here. So, boy,
Yeah.
my go-to other element just seems to be earth. I'm very grounded.
Dum ba dum bum bum.
Couldn't help it. It's an 8.
It is an 8. I think it's perfect that he will kind of break through this eventually, but you get to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
I think that's appropriate here. He's showing his hand in this.
Question 1: Who killed Xunhua?
The last disciple of Eyeless Waterfall.
Well, that's
She
no.
came.
Do I have any idea who that is?
No.
That's fun. Fortunately, we have a very skilled martial arts master with us. So,
And your second question?
let me review what we know about this. They were working with the Serene Mother Midnight Clan. They were trying to steal the book. Ooh, what is a good question here, guys? I mean, one thing that comes to mind is to find out more about just who Chun Bao was.
Well, he said something about betrayal of your order. Don't you want to know something about that, about how they were involved?
I think he thought I was here that the Serene Mother Midnight Clan was betraying them. Is that correct, Lowell? Or
Yes, that is
Yeah.
exactly right.
Do we think that they were ordered to do this by someone else, or were they working on this together? Because if we don't know any of those things, that's probably the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure you know the exact dimensions of the relationship. Do you want to kind of get that out of it?
Yeah, I think that's what we need to find out.
He will say, I can see now that the last disciple of Eyeless Waterfall has organized all of this. She brought Serene Mothers and our brethren together, promised us much, and knew that we would both attempt to seize what we could. I expect your order has been betrayed as well. Does that seem fair?
Yep. So it's the last disciple of the Eyeless Waterfall who's organizing all of this and has decided to set the dogs on each other as a way to cover her trail. That's fantastic. That's terrible. This is not good.
I think that I need to know what Chunji does at this point.
I think like I gotta charge in and attack this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that. That's the Shunji play right now, I think.
Absolutely. Then let me have you. Let me ask this, Yingling, if you see Shunji come flying in, clearly moving to take this guy on, what do you do?
Glance over to Master Zhang.
I'm going to try to distract an unending veil so Chunji can get a clear shot.
Okay. So let me have you roll overcome to keep that scale down. As he's just a couple steps above. Let's have you roll.
Okay.
Kind
And
of.
I'll roll with water.
Okay.
And Master Zhang's going to hear my bow bend as just before that arrow comes
Right.
at him. Yeah.
Okay. And I rolled snake eyes.
So you move up, and this guy's sword is out, and it is what you were worried about. It is a silent strike, and you're going to need to mark 2 elements as that blade hits and blood is in the air. Yingling, what do you do?
Oh wow. I gotta go in and back him up. Let's see if I can pull his butt out of the fire here. Sydney, I don't have any move to like
Do you have a defend move?
Do I have a defend move? Let me see. I don't think I do.
There is one of the classes that has that.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's yours.
Yeah, I'm the one that has the defend move.
Okay.
Yingling. I think this is just overcome.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to overcome then. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, it's... I think I'm using my striking bell form, so I'm going to go ahead and
put it at
chance
risk.
it. Yeah, I'm putting that at risk. Here we go. Be good if I hit the reroll select instead of submit. That is a 12.
That is a 12. So I'll give you 2 out of 3 things. I'll let you pick them from this, I think. Lower his scale, protect Master Zhang from further repercussions, or not mark an element. What 2 of those do you want?
When you say an element, do I get to choose the element, or am
Choice.
I mark?
Choice.
Okay. I will mark an element.
Okay. So you get Master Zhang out of there, and you're moving, getting that distraction, lowering his scale. He's already been drawn off by this conversation. Lady Twilight Summer, he's still trying to track her, trying to track the Red Cloud sword. Shunji, you have 1 shot at this before he recovers his composure.
And I do that thing where like Yingling is going in to protect Master Zhang and stuff like this. And so there's like 1 arrow comes right at him, and I immediately take a second one, which I shoot right at Yingling to bounce off one of his bells to hit the guy.
Okay. Because
he's looking for that one coming straight at him, and I'm going to try and get another one like in through the side.
Sure.
There, yeah.
His eye is caught by the shadows moving again.
Yeah.
That sound of the rustling, the throwing of the voice that the Red Cloud sword is doing. Go ahead and roll.
All right. Style element. So this is a duel against someone who's at my scale because they're messing with him?
Yep, right now
Okay.
he is.
All right, cool. That is a 3 plus 3 gets me to 6. I'm going to spend my bond.
I bet you are.
With Miss Fang, who's watching all of this.
Okay, nice.
Appropriate.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to blow this in front of her. So that gets me to a 7 and 9.
So yeah, you will get him. Do you want a deadlock? That who knows if you can get him back on the scale or not. Lose and mark XP. or win at a cost?
I'm gonna win at a cost.
So what is the cost?
I think the cost is um, I I'm gonna get hurt somehow in all of this.
Sure.
And I can tell you, you tell me what style thing he does that I end up wounded from this, but I'm going to take wounded because I've got a playbook thing where when I'm wounded, my other allies get +1 forward. So
I think it is that you launch off a series of arrows, that one that bounces off, and I think that his sword comes up so quickly, and he manages to deflect one of them back, and your own arrow will hit you in the shoulder from that, even as that last one you fire that bounces off Yingling's bell catches him in the chest and drops him.
Oh, I think throat.
Oh, throat. Catches him in the throat, drops him to the ground, and he will fall even as that sound of the bell ringing is starting to fade out here. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll continue on. Rich, I added a few more pictures, including a picture of your brother to the images tab.
I'm so excited. I saw the picture of Gang. He's very handsome. These are lovely. This makes me very happy. Bramblebeard, you mean, is awesome.
Isn't he great? I was very
That
happy
picture
when I found that
rocks.
picture.
For some reason, the picture for Sad Steel Butcher isn't showing.
Because we haven't like brought them on stage.
Gotcha.
So I didn't. When we bring them on stage and learn something about them, we'll put them in there. But it was a name that had been brought up.
I didn't see a picture for Miss Fang, so I dropped one in. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, because I know you'd had a picture of her, so I didn't want to do that without. I wanted to
Appreciate
you do that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Unending Veil. Let's put a little strike through on his name.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm really getting into character keepers with this like Pinterest boardy type listing with the really big pictures and just a little bit of info.
Yeah, my favorite is the sort of setting up the desks for Monster Hearts and getting the pictures of the students in that. I think I like that the most.
We should
Oh
see
my goodness.
all the hot 19th century people we found for my camera's off for the Tolstoy game.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great cosplay of that period.
Little Hopping Crow is adorable.
Yep.
That picture is just fantastic.
And there's nothing sinister about her at all.
Well, I mean, just look at her. Dragon Fist Killer is way more attractive than I gave him credit for.
He was very upset when you called him a thief.
I know. Some reason this morning when it was 0 degrees on my weather app on my phone while riding on the bus to work, I did a screenshot of it and sent it to my dad, who's in Tennessee, where it's 34. So I don't know why, but we talked about weather via text for a little bit today.
My dad had been living in Florida, and I hadn't talked to him in a year and a half, but most of our conversations over the past 10 years have revolved around him going, well, it's 70 here. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
So I think I want to give the group a chance to speak and catch your breaths, but in the distance you can hear the clacking of the magistrates calling for people and shouting, and it's very clear that the authorities are coming this way. Let's start with you, Red Cloud Sword, as the body hits the floor.
I shoot Chun-Ye a withering stare and just sort of mouth, "You called the cops."
You'll definitely hear that familiar voice of that person that you fought before, of him shouting orders and coming closer.
I think in a fit of sisterly piety, I grab Chun-Yi and just say, "We need to go now."
Chun-Yi, how do you react to that?
I look confused and I say, "What do you mean? No, the magistrates will help us. We need to tell the magistrates that these villains are here, and they will help us."
I look around and go, "They'll figure it out."
Chun-Yi, if Red Cloud Sword starts leading you away, do you go?
Like no, no. I mean, I need a reason. Like I get that she's like a crook and doesn't want to hang around and talk to cops, but I have every reason to trust the magistrates. They're there to help people.
Let me check in with the other two, and then I'm
Yeah,
going to see what
let's
Red
do
Cloud
that.
Sword is going to do. Yingling, you know what? Do you think that the cops have a pretty good attitude towards you?
A hero never outlasts the sound of his own ringing bell. We should go.
And you and Miss Feng take off. Master Zhang?
Oh, I'll gesture for. Oh, wait. I'll call for Master Zhang.
I'm a little torn because, I mean, Thundernail Daughter was not impressed with me, and here I've found the person who was behind this attack. But on the other hand, the main suspect is dead.
Yes.
So I think I may need to roll inner conflict at the moment.
I think so. I think that's a perfect point to do that.
Yeah. And let's see, what do I have left? I've got fire and wood unmarked.
Yeah.
So all right, I'll roll fire. That is a 7.
That is a 7. So you can mark fire and make your choice freely, or not. What is it that you would like Master Zhang to do?
I think I will. I think I'm going to flee the scene. I think so the thought of confronting Thundernail Daughter is just too much for me.
That seems fair. So you would have liked to have stayed and impressed, but your companions all take off, Shunji, even Master Zhang.
I'm surprised that like I kind of like huh. But I'm gonna talk to the magistrate. I'm gonna let them go.
Okay. Red Cloud Sword. You have a choice here. You can let your brother stay here and face the music, or we can move to a PvP.
I'm gonna just one more time. I'm going to look at him and say, "Your father hid his knowledge for reasons. Come with us now. You attacked known criminals in the presence of known criminals."
So I guess mechanically, what's going on here? Is this Hearts and Minds?
So here's the thing:
It feels like Hearts and Minds.
Okay. So let's do Hearts and Minds to give him an incentive. If it pushes further past this, we'll go to a PvP.
Yeah, that's
like a duel. Right. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, because that is the PC versus PC duel. Because it's not just for physical conflict; it's for forcing things. I think we have enough leverage here to make it Hearts and Minds.
I think I have no choice here. Wait, actually, maybe I do. Hang on.
Also, I'm injured, so you take +1 forward on this.
Yes.
Because when I'm injured, all of my allies take +1 forward.
That being the case, I am literally summoning every inch of my formidable creature of the night presence, saying, "We go now." So that's Earth, which is really getting to be my go-to. I might have to raise that. That with the +1 for your injured, that's a 10.
Okay. So on Hearts and Minds, on a hit, they mark XP if they do as you ask. They mark an element.
Yeah, and I look at the magistrate coming around the corner, and I look back at you. and I just nod at you and follow you out of the warehouse.
Okay. And we will see a scene. Probably doesn't have a perfect confirmation, but Shijia sees that red, and he's like, "Oh, red cloud sword! I know it was her."
I just like give him a wave as we're running away.
Your day of reckoning will come.
I do the equivalent, the societally appropriate equivalent of blowing a kiss.
So, let's take a moment. Let's assume that the group, because it's in a secluded area, because it makes sense to have the group meet up again back at that fountain where you first met up, to kind of figure out where you go from here. Does that seem like a good narrative device there?
Sure.
So in the distance, you can still hear the shouting, and the calling of the magistrates and so on. And you arrive here at the fountain. It is dark here. It is almost a new moon. So what I think it's probably Yingling and Master Zhang that arrive first. Do you have words for Master Zhang?
Shing, I would ask that the next time we go into a place like that together.
I saw that you and Red Cloud Sword were occupied with the guard, and I did not wish to leave Chun-Ji alone against those troops. I felt that I could strike them from behind, and by doing so assist him.
Ah, I see. Combat is fluid, like a dance. I'm sure that you didn't plan to be alone. My apologies, Master Sheng.
Yes, I perhaps did not act with great wisdom. I am somewhat distracted by personal concerns.
You find Red Cloud attractive as well?
What? No, I have. Did you know, Yingling, that I was once married?
I did not. Tell me about her.
Well, of course you knew I was married because you've met my son. But
out of wedlock. I mean, yes.
But my wife was lost to me many years ago. For many years, I thought that both she and my son were dead. I rediscovered them only recently, learned that my son was alive, and my wife was alive as well, but she had become bitter and evil. I was forced to fight her, and she died in the battle. But only yesterday, I met her again, Yingling.
Oh.
I do not understand. The woman who I killed 2 years ago, she was unquestionably my wife. But the woman I met just last evening is my wife as well, although she does not know me.
That's very curious. It could be magic.
Magic. I don't believe in such things.
Have you not seen me fight?
That is merely skill.
Well,
there's nothing supernatural about your skills. They're only remarkable.
I think that's a good transition for the remarkable
Yes,
Cloud's
Red Cloud.
sword,
That's so like.
and following Bat to arrive. Do superhero land again?
No, I think actually I just come out of the shadows and say, if you two old hens are done talking.
Old hands.
And I'm like grinning ear to ear, and I come right up to Master Zhang and I like bow deeply to him, and I say, Master Zhang, I thank you for the confidence that you placed in me. We've struck a great blow on behalf of my family, and it would not have been possible without your guidance.
Harumph.
And if this counts as comfort or supporting him,
I like that. Yeah. What do you want to roll with?
I'm gonna roll with. Let me see here. I'm gonna roll with Alt Tab over to my character sheet. I think this is metal.
Okay. that seems
Control,
fair.
calculation, reflection. I'm thinking back to how he helped me out. So, what do we got here? That is a 7.
That is a 7. So you may create a bond, Master Zhang, or clear an element.
Yeah, I'll clear my style element.
That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Chunji, and I embrace him, and I sort of wince, because my wounds are still paining me.
I think we both wince.
Yeah.
Because I've got a like there's a, I I did that thing where I snapped the end of my arrow off and pushed it through my shoulder so that I could pull it out while I was walking with Junja. But definitely, I'm sure that's like, spreading blood stain on my shoulder there.
So, yes.
Farming Bat, you've been wounded in the fight.
Oh, I had not noticed. I say like genuinely like this is not like macho or anything, but just like so adrenaline. Oh yes, I removed the arrow. I did not think that it had hurt me that badly. It is. Oh yes, that is quite a lot of blood, isn't it?
It is. It is. Come here. Let me help you. And he walks over, reach down to the bottom of, like if you have kind of like a gi shirt type thing, and he rips the bottom of your shirt to like help staunch and make into some kind of bandage, like a makeshift bandage. But I mean, other than the fact that he just ripped up your shirt, which has an arrow hole in it, so it's basically useless anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he's offering you a little bit of like support, and I'll add in a little fiction to him saying, the arrow shot off of my bell was pretty amazing.
And I grin and I say, when I saw his neck in the reflection of your bell, I knew that was what to do.
It worked perfectly. And I will roll comfort or support with, I don't have many stats left, so I'll go with Earth.
And you've got +1 forward.
That's right, because you're still wounded.
Yeah.
I'm about to make my own +1 forward go away. Maybe I should fail at this. No. That is a 9 on comfort and support.
So you may clear an element or wounded.
I'm going to clear wounded. I'm going to let him patch that wound up and, staunch the bleeding. And I kind of stretch my arm a little bit and I bow to him. And I say, I thank you, Troubadour.
I think I need to talk to Master Zhang.
Okay. You draw him aside.
Master, I respect deeply your great knowledge. Have you ever heard of this eyeless waterfall and their disciples.
Right. And I tell I tell her what I heard from what was it, Empty Falcon, the five disciples.
He says that the eyeless waterfall was a villain,
Right.
who disguised himself as a teacher, and had a number of disciples, and then he was killed by righteous heroes, and the five disciples split his book apart. One of them clearly was your aunt's husband, magistrate.
Well, except that I don't know that she's Lady
Right,
Twilight
right.
Summer.
No, I'm telling her that,
Right.
so that she knows. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. But the last disciple was described as a she, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So the last disciple is the one we need to worry about. We must find out who these disciples were. And the best way to do that will be to find the little one's father.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna.
Yes,
You know what? I think I actually make that Freudian slip.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Right. Yes, his father, Chun Bao.
Yes.
I agree.
All these aristocrats look alike, you know.
Yes, but I confess, I am puzzled as to why he has not made contact with his family. He is a hard man in some ways, but I do believe he loves his children.
I am curious about why he fled. I can see not contacting the family as a way to protect them, and yet Xinhua was left to her own devices. I'm curious about the timing of this. It doesn't seem to make any sense. From the little I know of Chun Bao, he seemed like an upright man.
Yes, it's possible that he did not leave voluntarily, but if so, I am puzzled.
We must find him, and then he may explain himself better.
Agreed. And it is possible that the Serene Mother Midnight may know something of this.
The Serene Mother is not so easy to just walk in on.
Yes.
On the other hand, you are a wise man, and those who are intelligent would listen to you. And Chungay has a stake in this matter. And, for all we know, is the heir to this legacy.
You think that I should talk to Serene Mother Midnight? Do you think she would listen to my words?
I'm not sure she would listen to mine, to be honest. I'm not always in the best odor with the upper levels of the Serene Mother Midnight, you know?
And
I do things like freelance for random aristocrats.
And I shrug. It can do no harm to speak with her. How would I find Serene Mother Midnight and beseech her for an audience?
They call her Serene. Oh boy. Because she lives in a temple. At least that's where we go To be honest, I'm not really sure whether or not there's one Mother Midnight or multiple Mother Midnights, if it's a council or some sort of, I don't know, executive rotating functionary. It's all not really made clear. And generally when you get called to the temple, you did something wrong.
Hmm.
But we could
Well,
go to the Jade Temple and talk to the young ladies there.
yes. And whether there be one serene Mother Midnight or many matters not, as long as the one we speak to has information and is willing to assist us. And perhaps if they are being manipulated uh, uh, as Unending Veil was, they may no longer they may no longer consider our mysterious adversary to be an ally.
That is a wise attitude to take, I think.
So the hour is late. Would you continue on, or do you need to rest and recover? The four of you.
Yeah, I think that's like, I think it's time to, like, I need to check on my sister. I need to check on my sister, and B, like, I have family duties that I have to attend to. Like, I have to be in my, like, I have to get back, change into my morning clothes, and attend whatever ceremonies have to be attended to before I can go back out.
Absolutely. And does that seem fair for everyone? I assume Red Cloud Sword that when Chung following Bat says, "I need to go check on my sister."
Gone. I'm doing the Batman thing. It's totally, yeah. Just, why did you look over there?
You do that, kid.
So Yingling, would you go to that household to hang your head there, or would you go somewhere else?
I'll go to that household.
Okay.
I do have this thing where, Lady Twilight Summer and she's in love with me.
Are you saying that we should maybe speak to each other in a moonlit courtyard when all the house is asleep and the crickets are chirping by the fountain?
Well,
yes. None those words, but yes, now I am.
Can you play funerary music on those bells? Can you play songs of mourning?
Of course.
So the house is filled with music for us to mourn our departed mother. Can you play her favorite song?
Of course. I would be happy to. It would be an honor. I must admit that I am one bell short, but I will compensate.
And Master Zhang, would you go with them, or would you go to impose on your son's hospitality, or go to a tavern? What would you do?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think my son has a fixed abode because he's a traveling merchant. But yeah, there's probably he probably has a regular, like an inn or something where he stays where he's in town. Maybe I would go there. That
Okay.
seems reasonable.
Absolutely. Following Bat, you return back to the household. Your sister is there, looking perhaps a little disheveled.
Oh, that's understandable. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
I need to be strong here. So, I come in, I nod, I whatever the appropriate bow, familial, respect, piety. I make that bow, and then I hie myself up to my room and I change into my morning clothes, just like she asked me to. And before I go to see anybody, I go to her and I like genuinely asking her if I look all right and and to tell her that Master Zhang led us, and we have learned things, and we will find the ones who did this. We have already struck a blow.
And was the one I sent you adequate?
And I kind of scrunched my nose up a little bit, and I said, she did little but lurk in the shadows, but I suppose that her presence was helpful. She did lead us to the villain.
Are Yingling or Fang present when you're having this conversation, or?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, this
Okay,
is,
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're eavesdropping, which I'm totally fine with. Like, as a player, I'm totally fine if they're eavesdropping, but as a character, this is me talking to my sister privately.
What do you think, Yingling?
I think it would be interesting if we're Master Zhang and I are a room away, and Yingling is trying to eavesdrop, but there's always just some kind of like rustle or movement. But Master Zhang can hear all of it because, you know, he's like Master Zhang and awesome.
So, Stephen, do you want to? That would assume that you don't go to the other inn. You would go back to the household. I don't know if
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. I didn't want to take that away from you. I'm sorry. I had this amusing thing in my head that validated your saying. Sorry. I think he's trying to eavesdrop. He's there, but just occasionally there'll be a rustle or something that distracts him, and he keeps missing important parts of the conversation.
I think Mrs. Fang at one point gets super indignant. No, the Red Cloud Sword was amazing. How can he say that? She was great. He doesn't know anything. If it weren't for Red Cloud Sword, he's a fool.
Perfect.
Let me Master Zhang, and then let's come to sort of the next morning, shall we?
So I am comforting and supporting my sister.
Oh,
here
that's a good point.
By telling
Yeah.
her all of this. So, or at least that's what I'm trying to do.
Let's see if that works.
And what do we got here? We've got. I'm gonna roll with wood. Growth, patience, and growth. That's an 8 plus 2 is 10.
Okay. Then you can gain a bond or clear a
Clear and metal
element there, Chunjie, as well, or ask a question.
Oh, do I want to ask a question? No, I'm gonna get another. I'm gonna get my bond with my sister back.
Okay.
I think that totally makes sense here.
So I want to check with Mr. Zhang, and then I want to come back to Yingling then. Master Zhang, you will arrive at the inn, and you will. It's late, but you'll hear the familiar sound of your son's voice as he says, "No. This is a game of skill. It's not a game of luck. It's all skill."
Especially when he plays it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And I will. Yeah. I will enter, and Pei, are you hustling again?
Is it, Father? No. I was engaged in a simple game with my good friends here. And he clearly folds out of the game that he's playing, and he will come over to you and he will say, "That was rude."
Yes. Well, you take advantage of these people, Pei.
They wanted to play. They did not ask me whether I was more skilled or gifted in these things.
Yes. I apologize. You are, in your own way, bringing them along the path to wisdom.
Absolutely. And if they part with a few coins, who are we to object? Goes back home.
The possession of worldly goods can be such a distraction.
I don't know about that. Well, we've had that conversation. Why are you here? Why have you come down from the mountain?
Oh, well, originally I came to bring some supplies back to the temple, but I have since I arrived, I have become tangled in the affairs of some of my friends, and
Do tell.
what? Oh, there have been some attacks, some attempts to steal a book. But tell me, Pei, I've heard stories that there have been complaints against you. Somebody has been spreading rumors of dishonest practices.
As a merchant, people are always spreading rumors of these kinds of things. There are rivals, people who look back on a deal made and feel afterwards that they have a regret, a buyer's remorse, as you will.
Are you certain that this is all to it? The temple has enemies, and I am afraid that they may be striking at me through you.
I am sure it amounts to nothing, Father. I wouldn't worry myself about this. I don't think you should worry.
You are my son, Pei. How can I not worry?
Fair enough. I have a room here if you wish to share it with me.
That would be most welcome. Ordinarily, I do not care at all for comfort, as you know, and like I hold my hand up to my chest where I've been wounded, but just at the moment I am feeling a little weak.
Were you injured?
Yes, I rather foolishly attempted to distract an opponent whose skills far surpass my own.
Well, come rest. I have herbs. I will prepare a poultice, as you showed me.
Yes, thank you.
Yingling, you will sleep here in the household. It is lovely. I assume you need to gather some of your cohort to fill out the band.
I think just a bell sounds great and wonderful, and there's a lot I can do with it, but it's probably best if I have some members of my faction.
And what is your reaction when you remember that you were supposed to meet your brother Gang last night?
Oh. That's not great.
In any case, you were going to go and gather up members of the Gloaming Orchestra, and I'm about to pay something off here.
Okay.
That's not a payoff from you. Is you will hear as you're moving through with Miss Fang to gather. She's kind of make a list of who all you need. You'll hear this gruff voice go, "Fang," and you see her stop, and her eyes narrow. And you see her stop, and she turns around, and you will see this wild bearded, bushy haired gentleman approaching her with like his hands out, like clearly he's startled to see her.
Miss Fang, who is this?
See her lips get super tight, and she says, "That is my father, Yumin." And he comes over and he's like, "Fang, you should have told me that you returned to town. It's been some time. I want to make things right, make things up for you." And she goes, "Go back to your bows and arrows and leave me alone." What do you do, Yingling?
I want to study this situation.
Sure. Let's have you make a study roll.
Maybe the first time I've studied anything.
This is the payoff to the hard move, Jim.
I'm looking for the passion here, so I'll roll with fire. That is a 10.
You have 2 hold to ask questions or make a declaration.
How can I best end this uncomfortable situation amicably?
I think turning to business and using that as an excuse to get in the way will draw Miss Fang's attention and diffuse this.
Okay. This is terrible, but okay. How many sessions do we have left?
So this is session 4. We have 4.
Okay,
assuming that we would do a makeup.
midway point. I think there's something up. I'll save it later. No. So sorry. What is Bramble's scale?
He is above you in scale. Though
awesome.
he had it almost feels like he's wasted that talent. Like you can feel like if he practiced, if he disciplined himself, he could be even greater. But he's clearly, this is the remnants of a dissolute life.
Wow. That's awesome. Good. Yeah, I will. Yumin, it is good to meet you. I am most likely the reason Miss Fang has been so busy. We have some things to work out, Miss Fang, as well. I'm Jingling, by the way, of the Gloaming Orchestra.
Oh, yeah, yes. All right.
She works for me.
All right.
And so she's probably not had any free time that I recall for her to pursue any personal interest. And speaking of which, we need to have a conversation. Can you, excuse me, please, sir, can you come with me, Miss Fang?
Okay. And he will step back, broken by that, and Miss Fang will her stance relaxes a little, and she will go along with you. And she says, "That is why I do not like archers."
He seems to be to carry himself in an interesting way. His potential he's powerful, is he not? But perhaps there is a bit of wasted potential as well.
He is all wasted potential.
Oh. He gave birth to you, so he's not wasted everything.
Save it for Lady Twilight.
God,
or even better, she says, the Red Cloud Sword.
It may be no. Lady Twilight, much more my speed.
So I think we will probably see this a montage of the orchestra coming, of the funeral services, of that morning being occupied by that. Master Zhang, do you bring Pei with you when you return back to the household?
I don't think so. I mean, he's not a fighter.
Okay.
So.
But he will say, if you want me to go with you, if you're attending this funeral, do you need anything, Father?
No, I just need to know that you're safe.
All right, all right. And you see him off. Those are the last words you hear from him this session. So you will head there. Late Twilight Summer, as we see this montage of the ceremonies of the servants and so on, what do we see of you? What's on camera of your reaction during this, especially given the tumult and events of the previous evening?
I think her face is a completely impassive mask, but her eyes keep flicking around as if she's looking at everybody who comes in and out of the house, thinking, "Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one that will lead me to the killer of my aunt?"
And following Bat, what do we see on screen for you during this?
I am in my morning clothes, and like I very much have that thing where like I'm a like I look like a kid wearing an adult suit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm I'm doing my best to carry myself properly and everything, but maybe I'm a little too skinny for it, and like it's
You're
like I'm
Wushu John Mulaney. Okay.
exactly, yes, yeah, something like that. And I kind of I really love the idea that like regularly, like my eyes dart over to my sister with this kind of imploring look, because I just want just like a nod or a hand gesture or whatever, that I'm doing okay. And she always looks like and she's just like distracted and not, and I think not giving it to me. Yeah, and it's just, and like I I get through it, but I think I'm getting kind of increasingly less confident that I'm carrying this off as it goes, because I'm just not getting the feedback from her that I want, as I kind of look, and start to actually actually turn my head and kind of like, but she's looking over there and not backing me up on this.
And Yingling, tell me something about this musical gathering. Your fellows from the Gloaming Orchestra, you're performing some of the ritual funeral music. What do we see on screen? Are you leading them? Are you part of an ensemble? How do you feel about that?
I think it's a part of an ensemble that is heavily percussive. So there's a taiko, a pair of taiko drums, an odaiko, which is the large one, and then someone else that's kind of keeping the rhythm in a nice somber way. And the bells are soft touch, respectful. Very important to make sure that this funeral procession is appropriate.
Your brother's there doing the clappers. He's looking at you irritated, but
Oh yeah, well that's fine. I mean, I'm used to that.
But you perform. It's a beautiful ceremony. Master Zhang, what are you feeling? What emotions are going through you?
I mean, I think I'm feeling pity and compassion for my friend Chunji, who is not prepared for these responsibilities, and who I know loved his mother. So.
And when you killed your wife, what kind of funeral did you give her?
It was.
Was it full, or was it just a modest ceremony?
I think it was probably it was a fairly modest ceremony, but it was it was punctilious. It was everything was done properly, and
then I think that we'll camera. We've bought a drone, so the camera shot pulls away as we see the ceremony there going on, and we definitely will pull back, and we definitely will see shadowy figures on a high rooftop away, watching down, observing this, and that is where we're going to stop for this evening. We're just going to do 3 points for end of session since I think we hit a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to flat do it because I feel like it.
okay, and that brings me to an advance, so I'll think about that.
So we've got this last disciple of the Eyeless Waterfall. We know that we've identified some of the other disciples, so that's a lead. And I'll go over these again next session. We have the Serene Mother Midnight going to the Jade Temple. We have that as another lead, and we have the whereabouts of Chun Bao and Ming as a third one. So I'll go over those when we get to the start of the next session. So we do have some directions to go in, and I'll check in with everybody then. Does that seem fair?
Okay.
Do you want to take just a couple minutes to do Stars and Wishes? Do you mind? Just that'll help me give some direction on things. Jim, is it okay if I start with you and ask you, do we bring you back in okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Nope. It was like
Okay.
I didn't miss a beat. Yeah.
Okay. So anything you want to say, Stars and Wishes wise, however, whatever order you want to do, if you want to do both, just one.
I think oh gosh, Star to Steven for his stepping in to be the father figure for Chunji. Like right off the kind of knowing, like kind of the wisdom in him knowing what I needed and, bringing me along and stuff like this and everything, even though he knew it placed me in danger, but it was what I needed to do and stuff like that and everything. And he demonstrated that clearly, even though I am not his son, I am a much better servant to him than his own son actually is. And I feel like that was made very clear this evening. So Star for that.
Anything else you want to say, Star wise?
I'm just gonna do the one just so that I don't
Sure, absolutely.
I love this game. Everybody did fantastic. Like stars all around, but rather than take 10 minutes to dole them out, I'd like that was the thing that really stuck with me from this session.
Anything wishes wise, mechanically, or things that we didn't get to, or things you definitely want to see next time that you want to point to?
So I really want to, like I kind of just sort of snarkily got at right now, I really want to get into that like me and Pei like disagreement, and Mastered, I think Pei is like a no good Nick. And when I say suspect him of evil, I think like the picture I'm getting is that like I think he's like a charlatan and a con man and like a grifter. Not that he's like, an assassin and going to bring his father to ruin or anything just like that, but just that like Master Zhang deserves a son who upholds his, piety and noble tradition and stuff like that. And
I should have pushed on that and brought Pei into that last scene, but I will definitely get him on stage more.
Yeah, we got 4 more games, so I'm really looking forward to it.
All right.
And definitely, like I said, I talked a little bit about it before, but I really want to work with Kat on making, when I finally find out, that to be like a great big, dropping a bomb in the middle of the room, kind of huge reveal thing, and not just like I figured out because of a role.
Yeah,
I have already figured out what my new role would probably be. So,
Kat, Stars and Wishes.
Yeah. I started you, Lil. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, I like the fight. I like the back and forth we have there, and this mystery keeps getting more complicated, which is cool. And as for wishes, I think I'm cruising along. I agree with Jim that we're building up to a nice point where the mask will get dropped and we'll have a big reveal. Given that vengeance for my living relative is probably a big component, it's probably going to end up being a total Eowyn thing.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's my wish. It's going to be an Eowyn thing. So let's
Okay.
work on that.
Stephen?
Right. Well, stars to the fight with Unending Veil, which really, he was convincing as a very dangerous enemy. We beat him, but it took all of us working together, and there was a cost to it. So that was good. And I mean, my wish is that the situation with Pei, it gets the stakes get up to like he's arrested or something to make that threat more imminent.
Absolutely, especially since he's associated with you, and there's some question about your role in all these things. If the magistrates start to pull people in,
Right?
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, it would also be sort of nice, maybe if there's a reason that Pei is being targeted, maybe he has some information he doesn't know he has or something.
I like it. Okay. Rich, I hope it was okay. We bring you in okay late. Did you feel like you got in? You're muted. Take a drink.
Dang it. First, I just want to say I'm sorry that I ended up late. I appreciate you guys working around it. I really appreciate nobody giving me guff because it wasn't really my choice. But, things happen. So thank you for that. I really appreciated the Miss Feng reveal. That was pretty awesome and super exciting. I want to see more of that. And I really liked the scene with Pei and Master Zhang. The stars there on both sides. That was fun. I'm glad we brought that back in. That was a really interesting thing to see. Issues. More Red Cloud and Miss Fang. That's just great. That's a whole new angle on Miss Fang that I didn't see coming, and
I can't take credit for that. That is something that Kat threw out last session just as an aside, and I was like, I am definitely doing that. And so I'm building on what Kat put out there. So
you just pick them up while we put them down. That makes you a great GM.
anything else?
Oh, that's good.
Okay. So we will talk with everybody next week. And at that point, I should have a better sense of my schedule, so we can look in if there is a way for us to pencil in a makeup session and find some common ground on that to get us the makeup on that. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
So thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the stream. Is everyone cool with me posting it?
Go for it.
All right.